right. What up, fam? Treaticus here. Listen, this crazy thing happened. Three Ball and King Brett are AOL and or AWL, not AOL. That's the old. That was my old internet. AWOL, they're AWOL, and they said we're going to line up the craziest group we could. And so this is the All Hell Breaks Loose CNC pod. Tork and Chewie with me. Thanks for joining me, guys. Appreciate y'all carrying the weight while the other guys loaf.
What's up, Treat? What's up, Tork?
Heyo, thanks for having me. It's got a mom and dad are out of town kind of vibe to it.
Exactly. We get to say all the things that Three Ball won't let us say.
If mom and dad are out of town, does that make Treat the creepy uncle?
Yeah. Yeah, it's everybody needs that fun uncle, right? Everybody needs the fun uncle in their life. But no, man, I wanted to jump in today, talk a little bit about what's going on with your Top Shot collection, what you're thinking. We got a lot happening in Top Shot, even in the off season. And then Chewie, I know you were at the Summer League. We wanted to catch up with you on that and some other stuff that you got to see this summer, some good NBA action. But Tork, we'll start with you, bro. I know you just had a big Grail purchase recently, but what's up with your Top Shot collection? What's going on?
That Western Conference final set from the bubble. I'm a big fan of bubble moments, so I've been kind of eyeballing those for a little bit. Been waiting on some moments to become unlocked and threw some offers down to try to make it as easy as possible on anybody who was trying to get some exit liquidity, if you will. Yeah. And so, hey, one click away, there's a couple $100 for you. Just go ahead and take it. Give me that AD bubble buzzer beater. I'll take it all day long.
There you go.
Got a few more to go, but I've got the heavy hitters out of the way in that set. But after that, I mean, I don't know, man. That's the problem with Top Shot is they keep you chasing everything. And we've got Extra Spice coming out again.
Yep.
The Steph Curry anthology moment is coming out. Maybe too many anthology moments. I don't know, but it's Steph Curry, and that moment's awesome. So it's they keep me hooked in during the off season. It's
Look, I've had trouble with these the new player boards and team boards. I'm feeling like I need to make all that green, Celtic green, neon green, light up on those. So now it feels like there's a whole different thing I feel like I need to collect other than sets. So I'm kind of torn. So I'm feeling you. There's always something new to chase.
Yeah, there's definite pressure now, right?
Yeah.
You referring to the new UI?
Yeah.
They made. How do y'all feel about those changes? They look great.
They do look great.
How do we feel?
How do you feel, Chewie?
Yeah, they look good. Like I was saying, sometimes you look at it like, oh, there's this. I don't got that moment. Oh shit! All right, how much does it cost?
Yeah.
No, I don't like the way all that green with that one gray one. I gotta go fill that empty spot now, and then you look at the price. It's like, oh, can I fill it? I think I can fill it. Do I really need it? Yeah. So then you go through this, crisis of, do I really need to do it? And then you're like, why am I pressuring myself to do this just because of that empty spot? God damn you, Top Shot,
I feel you, man. I feel the same way. I just I had that exact same conversation in my head. Like, this isn't a set. Why am I feeling like there's pressure on me to get this thing done? But it is. It doesn't look right with that little gray in there.
Yeah, making you have a Top Shot existential crisis. Sorry, Chewie.
No, yeah, it's a social construct there. Yeah,
it is.
They know what they're doing. It's sneaky.
But right, is that more? Are we leaning more into the collectors? Right? Is this becoming more of a place that really is about collecting what you love and finishing things? Is that where we're headed? What do you think?
Well, I mean, they did change another thing on the UI. They changed the marketplace header to collect.
Yep.
So just little things like that, you know,
Yeah.
that can make your thought process a little different on how you approach things.
Yeah.
Um, you know, for some people, as you go through that, um, when it comes to pack openings, I didn't really like that they kind of ported in the mobile version of the pack openings into the web. It looks pretty,
Yeah.
but now I don't know what's rare, what's not.
Mm,
So now you gotta go one by one. Um, clicking through it's a little bit slower.
right.
Um,
Is
you
that
know,
is that a sign that we're headed to a world that's just mobile?
maybe.
Top Shot's only on mobile and not on the web. Is that something you might foresee, Torque?
Well, I mean, probably in the future, but I mean, you've got to the first thing that comes to mind, and I know this might sound like a simple thing, but it just shows the gap between what's capable on mobile, I guess, and what's capable on the desktop. But after the new UI took hold, first thing I noticed, I went to look for a collector on mobile. Can't do that.
Can't find it.
Can't do it. You can only do it on desktop now. There's no way to name search for a collector, which once again, not the worst thing in the world, I suppose, but I think they still have a ways to go when it comes to developing that functionality. Yeah.
Well, I know there is a lot of talk about some sort of social piece that's going to be added to the mobile app. Some way to, and so maybe that's the next step, that there's some way to connect socially on the app, which would be nice, other than Discord and Twitter or X. Is it X or is it Twitter?
It's X officially, but it's funny because there was a discussion about that I saw amongst a few folks about the merits of perhaps starting like a Twitter community for Top Shot versus Discord, because a lot of people just don't like Discord clearly, but then again, there's a gated component to Discord that, if you want to weed out certain elements, if you will,
Right.
specifically, I guess that, Discord helps with that. But I think, communities can be gated as well. And I'm kind of surprised that nobody's at least started a community for Top, or maybe they haven't. I'm just missing it.
Yeah. Tell me about that. I don't know much about that. Is this something new on Twitter?
Chewie, hasn't it been there for a while? I mean, I've got, it's basically you have to be verified in order to start one, but think of getting permission from a moderator to join a group of like-minded folks. For example, there's a Mavericks group that I'm involved in, and there's about 6,500 people in it that are it's like its own extra. I was about to say Twitter again. Elon's going to kill me. But yeah, it's its own it's its own individual timeline of whatever that group is or community is talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have one for the kingdom, but it's another thing. It's just like threads or whatever, where you're asking people to join yet another thing.
Yeah.
And you have to, again, reestablish your following there, or reestablish another community, like a sub community, sub thing. It takes work, and it takes people's buy-in of like, why do I need this?
How's it different than like a Twitter chat?
Well, it's your feed. So instead of having a chat, you can have tweets that are within that community that only people that are part of that community will see.
Gotcha.
Or it filters it and keeps it within that.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's a Twitter feed, but it's just for a certain group that you're just invited to.
Right.
Okay.
Or choose to be a part of. Yeah.
Nice.
Points well taken, though, as far as just asking somebody to join something else, though. I mean, I already feel like even within a Discord, it's like you're making me do too much. You're making me jump through too many hoops, and I don't have time for that. And the folks that do, awesome, but say something for the little guy.
Well, it's definitely. I mean, I noticed that probably in the last at least 3-4 months, I'm active in really just a few places. I'm not really active anymore in the Top Shot Discord because I'm in the CNC Discord mostly, and so it's kind of what used to serve as my CNC now serves as who I'm connected to, not necessarily the Grizz gang or the Celtic group that I was part of in Top Shot. And so I wonder how much more of that will play out as Top Shot grows, is that you're going to have your little niche, right? You just can't get dumped into this general chat, even if it's verified. There's just, even now, and there's not a whole lot of us collectors around right now, right? So it's just so much easier when you've got a little smaller niche group that you're connected to. At some point, it's got to feel like that way. Top Shot's going to have to have different groups like CNC scattered all throughout the landscape, I would guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you want to think that there's got to be something brewing. I mean, they have a drop down on the site that's called community.
Yeah.
That would be the prime spot to have something like that in that drop down if you're going to have any kind of chat or message board or something like that. I hope it's not just like a Top Shot Reddit.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty bad. But
well, I think we've seen. I mean, I love the moments. I love the NBA, but I know I wouldn't still be here if I didn't have relationships with guys like you. Like
right.
and different. I mean, it is the relationships that keep us around and engaged. I feel like they've caught on to that. But what are you collecting, Chewie? What are you rolling into right now, or just are you loading dapper, or are you just hanging out?
Yeah, I look at rare sets because I see everyone else doing it. I get a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
And then I look at the price point. I'm like, I don't know. I want to have as many of the Kings moments as I can.
Yeah.
But then I like teams. Like one of the first things I did back when they started the team checklist was get into all 30 team discords.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going back through because the S1s are getting a little bit more reasonable. And I'm completing all the S1 teams if I didn't already.
Yeah.
Because kind of like what Tork said, was a lot of those are either bubble or they're when they first came back to the stands,
right?
And you can see like the cardboard cutout fans and things like that. And it's historic. It's hopefully unique that kind of thing will never happen again.
Yeah,
right?
let's hope so. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm doing, going back and completing S1 team sets. I know that it doesn't raise my TSS other than the moment itself. It's raising my team TSS, but that's kind of where I'm focused. Maybe eventually I'll do a rare. But like we were talking about leaderboards earlier, I did one of the burns for leaderboard, and
how'd that go?
I got a Harry Giles moment. I had bought way long ago for way too much money the he got game version of the Harry Giles moment.
Yeah.
And that one moment I was talking about that was grayed out on my board was the base version of the Harry Giles moment.
Nice.
And I never bought it because I was like, it's the same moment, just
it's the same moment. Yep.
Just a different badge, or not badge, but different different paint, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I never bought it.
Yeah.
And then I got it in the pack. So
I got you.
Cool.
Nice. Well, it's I'm looking at those boards, and I'm looking at different players that I'd like to have everything of, right? And to have all that green. But I'm really struggling with the players that were there for the Series 1 in Top Shot because of that. Like, I've got a Jaylen Brown TSD. Do I really want a rare Jaylen Brown TSD and a legendary Jaylen Brown TSD that are the same moment?
Right.
Just to fill that thing up. So now I've really started to look at anybody who came in Series 2 because they don't have that, you don't have that problem. But so maybe I cut it off there. What also something I've been thinking about and wondering, and I'm with you on the bubble pieces of Series 1 and 2, just kind of how historic those are on the platform, but also in history. But the Series 4 moments are so much better.
Yeah.
Like the curation is on another. So I'm wondering how that affects
from end to end. Yeah.
The collectability of Series 1 and 2 with how much. So anyway, you got a take on that? What do you think, Chewie?
Of Series 4 or Series 2 to 3?
Well, just thinking about how much better Series 4 curation is that going to make the Series 1 less valuable because people are going to look at this and go, that's, which I kind of do, like, that's not a very good moment,
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, if you're coming on to the platform new and you're looking at value of things, you're looking at uniqueness of things, hopefully you're taking time to actually look at the full length of the moment.
Yeah.
Because if you're not seeing how much better it is from like what Austin Kent talks about, from what leads up to the actual play and the following of the celebration at the end afterwards.
Right.
With the extra spice coming up, it'll be moments that are celebrating the celebration. That's new. And yeah, you can't really, I don't know, you can't judge people's choice of value.
Right.
What I value might be different than what somebody else value.
True.
Of course, ultimate value is the true value of the moment, but then you have what I value in the moment itself. And yeah, like when I look at, say, a moment that, I don't know, I always go back to like the little mellow ball of TSD.
Yeah.
That quasi assist moment.
Yeah.
Or like when we talked about the cool cats, it took me so long to complete the cool cats because, well, one, the price point, but also a lot of the moments to me weren't that cool from end to end. Some of them weren't that great, and I would rather go and collect a much cooler moment to me than completing that just for the FOMO of getting into the community. I'm glad that I have eventually. But yeah, the video and the different angles that they're catching now, especially with the Phantom Cam in Series 4, it is pretty great. And we'll get, when we get into the Summer League and talk about that, we could talk about one of the first external angles ever caught in a moment. I had a discussion with Austin Kent during Summer League, and the amount of work that it took to get that.
Sweet. All right. Can't wait for that. What do you think?
Did you catch that breaking news that Chewie hates the Cool Cat set?
I said that.
He loves the moment by moment.
It's a fair point. I mean, I think obviously the curation does a much better job. Series 4 telling a story. They're learning, they're growing. You can see it. It's evident. But there's a reason that the Honest Wagner baseball cards of the world are still valuable. The Mickey Mantles, etc. Not all of them, but they're still the OGs. They're still the original. And I think that some of those sets, the final set being one of them, which I'm partial to, could be LeBron's last championship. And I think things like that, because when's the next time we're going to have a LeBron James? I don't know. I can't foresee it in my lifetime. I mean, like I hope we do, because that'd be great for basketball. But things like that of that kind of historic value, hence bubble moments, maybe not all of Series 1, but yeah, Chewie, you mentioned the LaMelo Ball moment. I get it. It's his first career assist, but man, it's just so sad on a certain level. But that's it. I mean, what do you do? Are you damned if you do and damned if you don't? If you're Austin and Brandon in that situation, as far as like, well, do we not include his first career assist and what's probably going to be a career of many? I mean, it's like, not saying he's going to be Stockton or anything, but he's pretty damn popular.
Yeah, and they're always having to make those choices. I'm glad I'm not having to make those choices.
Yeah, I don't envy it.
I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, but it does feel like the basketball, right? The collectability, Series 2, such a And maybe throw that Series 3 in there too. Such a kind of lightning in a bottle, once in a lifetime, weird. A lot of things came together to create that thing that it was. And so you see that. So that's what I wonder sometimes too, if there's not going to be this Top Shot lore as we're into Series 10 and 20, that is almost a story of Top Shot itself, right? You got, as things happen and people, will there be a collectability around telling the story of this platform itself? I wonder about that, because there hasn't been anything like this, right? You don't have the same kind of connection between baseball cards, I don't know, and physical cards and the actual company making them. This kind of how innovative this is, right? And how radically different and new it is. Was there a time where it was like, a physical card in bubble gum is this new thing that has taken the world by storm? I mean, I don't know.
Put them in your bicycle tire spokes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder that. I wonder if there's just this something so new and innovative that there's also a story around each series.
Yeah, I mean, I got a box of cards. I know we don't. Janie is a poor subject, but she had sent my son a box of cards, random cards.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I'm going through them, and like, I don't know that much about cardboard, and I'm thinking, oh, this prism color hologram thing looks cool, the most badass card in this pile. It's got to be worth something. So I set these cards and like different players or whatever. So I set these cards aside and I go and bring them to the local card shop that people had told me is known to be good at appraising things. And the thing that I thought might be worth something was worth like 25, 30 cents. And this playing card that happened to have this like rare red border, because I only made 10 of them, but the card itself was plain. Other than that, was worth like $50.
Huh.
I would have had no idea if you're not in those streets studying that, because for some reason they made only 10 of the red border of this weird card, and that's why it's collectible.
Huh.
But to me, to my son, he would rather have that colorful hologram one. He doesn't care about a red border one, But of course, we saw that $50 one and get more of the hologram ones.
Yeah, that's right. So, get what you think is cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
But then with the cardboard, has there been basketball cards that have the cardboard cutout fans in the background, or the cars in the background, or the Jumbotron, whatever you call it, the faces that we see in the S1 moment in the background? Like, has there been cardboard cards of that?
That's I don't know. Good question. I don't know. Is there a bubble version? Tork, do you know?
Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, they also, regardless, I mean, they're still images, and they're still images. I mean, they can't. I mean, it's they can't tell a story the way that, they can help your brain flash back to maybe a certain I don't know. For me, I'm getting old, man. I can't remember stuff as good as I used to. It's nice to have like a story of a season. You mentioned the story of Top Shot as the series have progressed, but each season it's nice to go back and look, which because I forget the ins and outs of the season, and that's another component I think to the curation part of it with Series 4. You can kind of see it in Series 3 a little bit as well, but Series 4 really started telling more of the story of the season and certain plays that were highlighted, the playoffs especially as well. With the redemptions, that was a lot of fun. But we'll see what happens in Series 5. I guess I'm a little disappointed, one, that I didn't get to make it to Vegas like Chewie did for the Summer League stuff. But I'm also a little bit more disappointed that there weren't any Summer League moments, because there were a lot of really good plays at the Summer League. Yeah. And I know, Chewie, what was I guess, I mean, I know you had talked about it with some other folks, about your Summer League experiences, but I'm curious to know, like, if I can get some stuff out of you that you weren't thinking about telling. And I'm just curious to see if you can.
It doesn't actually stay in Vegas. We find out about it on the podcast.
Yeah, it just stays here, just amongst. There's, there's.
When I was on with another show, I mentioned that I'm part of the 3F club, the fat, 40, and fatigued. So like there wasn't too many partying or like late night things. I think really the only thing that was like unmentionable, or not unmentionable because we talked about it, was like being in a pool, and Poker Pro Eric's talking about a caramel skin color, caramel colored skin guy who was Dyson Daniels from last year, being in a hot tub with him.
Oh, wow.
And of course, attractive women hear that and they don't come over to talk to us. They come over to ask us where this caramel colored skin man is because they wanted to go talk to that guy. But then we, have a little bit of small talk with her, and then she starts asking us where we're from Sacramento. And then she starts talking shit about Sacramento.
What?
Saying, oh, that's cute. You guys from Sacramento, a little cow town. You guys got a cute little team over there. Haven't won anything in a long time.
Get out of here.
It's obviously that she hasn't watched, the league in the last year.
Yeah.
And then Poke for Eric, he's like, oh, back-to-back Summer League champions. I'm like, yeah, 2 years ago. Shut up, dude. And what does she care?
I love that.
But no, there really wasn't that much crazy stuff that happened to me. That I haven't told, like unmentionable stuff.
Gotcha.
Going back to
family man, right there.
Yeah, the EuroLeague. We talked about EuroLeague earlier. The Kings signed Sasha Fachenkov from the EuroLeague MVP.
Yeah.
And I took Southwest from Sacramento to Vegas. And I'm getting on the plane, and one of our announcers, Kyle Draper, who you might know from Boston, Treaticus.
Yeah.
He comes on the plane, and he sits down next to me.
Nice.
And already that was kind of like a little bit of fanboyish. I'm like, oh, what a treat it is to sit next to you.
Hell yeah.
And then Sasha walks on the plane. We had just signed him. And Kyle calls him over, and Sasha comes and sits next to me. So amazing. On the hour-long plane ride, I'm sitting next to Kyle Draper and our newly signed Kings player, the MVP from the EuroLeague, who 3 or 4 weeks before that, on playback, we had watched the EuroLeague playoffs and the championship because we had gotten the chance to host that through playback, and we were kind of vested in it because we knew we were going to be signing Sasha.
Yeah.
So we talked about that. We talked about how we were excited to have him on, and how much better the offense for the Kings could be. I tried to talk a little bit about Top Shot, but I didn't want to seem like a nerd or like make them move seats.
That's cool.
Yeah. So and when we got off the plane, I could take a picture of it. I could share a picture of it if you'd like.
Yeah, share it, man. I'd love to see it.
You could have told him how much you hated the Cool Cat set.
Sasha, I hate the Cool Cat.
No, he wouldn't have even known.
I'm curious to know. So did you get to like pick his brain a little bit? Did he have anything to say about Sacramento, or was he just kind of like, nope, I'm in the NBA, this is dope?
Well, his English was okay. His English was understandable.
Nice.
He said he's excited. He says that he knew from past Sacramento teams going back to like early 2000s with Peja and Hito and Vlade.
Yeah.
He thought maybe this could be the start of like renewing the Kings Euro tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And having that great offense. So who knows? Maybe we'll start signing more Euro players and restarting that again. And Kyle Draper started talking about it, and let's see if we go back to.
I was gonna say, can you put the photo back up for a second? I want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah, sure.
For those, or do we have an audience that might not be viewing?
We do have the audio only audience.
What's striking about this photo is
the other one, different one.
That one too. I mean, you're just as handsome in both of them. Quite honestly, my goodness,
you really are.
I mean, that's what I was trying to describe to everybody. Was, I mean, there's no words that can describe it. Quite honestly, I'm breathtaking.
That's right. I love the cape too, bro.
I lost the cape.
What?
That's oh my god. I'm sorry, Chewie.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part of the.
Now, Chris. Now hold on. He's a family man, so I don't want to. We don't need to go anywhere that he don't want to go. But I'm curious because I think you did mention that there might have been some libations involved in that process of losing the flag.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, let's just start from the beginning of the when I flew in. Went straight from the airport after meeting Sasha there on the screen. Which great outfit, right? We're talking about the Jordan shorts and the shirt.
Yeah.
Flew from there straight to a gym where the Steady Breaks crew and a whole bunch of NLL guys and girls, because Solo was there, and Manny, a couple other captains. We're all balling out. PPE was there. I showed up there a little bit late, so I didn't ball out. I probably wouldn't have anyways. But and then from there, driving past MGM where the NBA Con was happening, and they announced about the geo gated packs that you can get, right?
Yeah.
I tried at the airport. I couldn't get it. I was too far away. I tried at the gym. Couldn't get it. I was too far away. When PPE says, hey, there's MGM, that's where the NBA Con's going to be. We were at a stoplight outside of the place. Tried it. So at the stoplight, I was able to buy 2 packs. I wasn't even inside.
Nice.
As we're driving away, I'm like, I'm not going to try to get a 3rd pack. I didn't want to test it. But yeah, you didn't even have to be inside. Just be like in the general area. So that was pretty interesting, buying it at a stoplight. I'd never done that before.
That's sweet.
I've done the toilet. I've done the other things like that. never stoplight in the passenger seat of somebody else's car.
All the places.
I just assume that's when most people top shot is when they're texting or on the Twitter or X or whatever it is. Yeah.
The X. They're buying on their X. Now wait a minute. Ooh. Is that King Brett's X? Because there may be others. Never mind. On top. Yeah. Never mind.
I mean,
I did not see Julius Randle there.
Speaking of on top of, his ex,
I would honestly, I would probably, if I ran into Julius Randle, would segue being a North Dallas guy and then be like, hey, do you know this guy Brett? And just casually bring it up and just see if you have to take that opportunity, right?
You have to. It's talk about Top Shot lore.
Everybody wants to know, and yeah, I'll ask the question. I don't care.
Oh shoot! But you got to see more than just summer league hoop. He got some more good picks. This is
where we balled out before I lost the flag. Yeah.
Now Poker Pro Eric, he's like a legend in the Top Shot community.
Yeah, infamously, yes.
Infamous. What? Because he's always been cool to me. I don't get it. I don't get.
He's a good dude. He's always been really nice to me. He's I think he's got his opinions and he's outspoken, and I think some people don't know how to
take that.
I don't think he means anything by it, quite honestly. He's I said, he's always been cool to me, so I got no issue with it.
Yeah, I really like him. He's a good dude.
Chewie, you could probably expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean he's not here, so I don't want to talk about him too much like that. But
we're just saying nice things.
I think I've said it before where it's like within one conversation, you can have 10 different conversations with him and never finish one.
I love that.
He's a smart dude, man.
Yeah. And but when you build trust with him and you get to know him, he will help you. He will support you. He's a good guy. He's a good guy in person. I going back to when we had our first big community get together before captains, before anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've talked about it before. We didn't have captain's funds. We didn't have any of that stuff.
Right.
And true to his name, Poker Pro Eric, he had won money playing poker, and he came up to me with the envelope full of cash, $1,000 worth of cash, and he said, "I know you're good for it. I know Dapper will refund you once you guys get your funds.
Yeah.
So whatever you need, here's some cash. Pay for the tickets, pay for food, pay for whatever during the event, during the thing, and get me back when you can." Nobody else was doing that kind of thing.
Right. That's so cool.
So say whatever you want to say. Some things are warranted, but yeah. So anyways, and
twice collecting and connecting for all of us.
Twice now he's driven me all around Vegas, 2 summers.
What a guy.
So.
Who's the opposite end of that spectrum as far as you met a collector and you're just like, no, that guy sucks. Like,
you want me to call somebody out?
No, I'm just kidding. I know you would never do that. I actually wouldn't expect you to do that. But more in that vein, I'm curious to know, like, are there any collectors that you met that you were, I don't want to say surprised by, or just that you came away? I mean, it's always nice to meet fellow collectors in person, but I find those conversations to just be very fascinating. I get any collectors in particular that stand out.
So yeah, actually. I hope he doesn't get mad, but I'll share the screen. If you know from the WNBA CC community, Snapper, he's one of the hosts from the Playback group, and from that community, he runs a great community in the Discord, on Twitter, and the Playback, and he was scheduled to be at the WNBA All-Star Game, not for NBA Con. But he got some tickets somehow or whatever. I forget what the story was. And he randomly spotted me at NBA Con and pulled me aside to say hi and take a picture with me.
That's
awesome. We've been supporting each other off and on, not off and on, but I mean, like, anytime that we know somebody's doing something, we make sure to tweet it out and support each other, be in each other's streams and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And we both have our little niche that we're a part of, whether it's Kings or WNBA or whatever. And you talk about standing out. When on Playback, we're sitting down.
Yeah.
And NBA Con, he calls my name, and I'm looking up. I had to look down to find him. I'm like, oh, damn. I didn't know. He's like, yeah, I know.
He didn't know he was short.
By the way, quick shout out to him, because I've tuned into a few of his WNBA streams on Playback. That dude right there, if you haven't tuned into a stream of his, I highly recommend it. He is so much fun. He is very smooth. He is funny. He is knowledgeable. Like, everything that you want. If you just want to go just vibe out. I mean, the community is great to begin with, but the way that he conducts his orchestra, awesome. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Even if you're not into the W itself so much, just being involved with that community, him and Mac Attack, his other host, they do a great job in that community, with that Discord. And we have in our community, we have her name's Mary, Monarch MVP, does her tag. She's an usher for the Kings. And the Kings sent her to the WNBA All-Star Game.
Nice.
And I've been trying to get her involved with the WNBA CC, with the community, and collect the sets on Top Shot. We signed her up and everything. And we might be watching some Monarchs games, trying to find some archival footage that is worth watching for the quality of it. Because that's, back in the day, the quality is not so good. But yeah, it's fun to watch those games, and he makes it fun, even if you're not really that into the W. So,
yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But you saw pre-Vegas, you saw some good hoops, and I think we even spotted you.
Yeah.
On national television a few times.
So Sacramento has something called, well, last year was in San Francisco, but it came back to Sacramento this year. It's called the Cali Classic, California Classic. They do their version of the Summer League before it goes to Vegas. Utah does their own version. Orlando used to have one, but they don't do it anymore. And it always involves, for whatever reason, the Heat, the Warriors, the Lakers, and then this year they expanded it to have the Hornets and the Spurs because they thought that we would get the first and second picks to play. Well, Scoot went to Portland, so we didn't get to see Scoot, and Wemby decided to rest, so we didn't get to see Wemby, but we did get to see Jaime Jaquez from the Heat, and he went kind of nuts.
That's awesome.
And we did catch ourselves on TV. I'll see if I can share that on here.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna see that
real
quick. Such a good dog. And that guy, I mean, his basketball pedigree.
The way that he went with.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. Like he, especially against the Lakers, which made it even better.
Look at this again. The way that he went with just pure authority.
Who was that? Was that Castleton?
So right under the left arrow is me. You can see me chilling.
I see you right there. Yeah.
And that whole row is our whole community there. And then at the end, you'll see another guy with his Top Shot shirt.
Who was in front of him?
Yeah.
To throw it down.
Look at that.
The Lakers after that.
It's great, man. That's great. I love it.
That was a fun time. And like people, that's what you go to the Summer League for and go to those kinds of things for. It's not for good basketball. It's to see the young guys, see some guys show out. Hopefully, and be like, hey, I saw this guy's first game, even though technically it's not his first game, but and see people develop, see people be like, oh, I heard this name from college, and now I get to see them in a different setting, and see them like cheap. We had seats 4 or 5 rows up for $25 each.
That's beautiful.
And you got to see 3 games in one day.
Yeah, I love that.
That's crazy.
Lots of hoops.
Yeah, it's amazing. You mentioned seeing a guy come from college who may not have had the biggest role. Jordan Walsh comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
See what he does in the summer league because, the kid was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, so clearly no slouch. But at Arkansas, didn't need to be that guy necessarily, but, 3-and-D, and I think he'll expand on that role a little bit in the league, but perfect fit for the Celtics, by the way.
Oh, yeah, very happy. Very happy with that, especially since we lost.
Why does everybody always draft the best players? Mavs don't get anybody. That's about it. They had a good draft this year. Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
On the Hornets, like it wasn't Brandon Miller. It was Nick Smith.
Nick Smith, Arkansas
Jr. was the one that was like scoring 25, 28, at least during the Classic. Brandon Miller didn't do much of anything, but Nick Smith was great. Kai Jones had some crazy ass dunks in the Cali Classic. He was fun to watch. And then we got some autographs during the Cali Classic. We got Davion Mitchell and Jalen Slauson, and then Gabe Vincent, because his old team, the Heat, was playing, and his new team, the Lakers, were playing. So he was sitting in between both benches, cheering both teams on. So that was kind of a cool little.
Did you ask him how in the world he became the next LeBron James versus my Celtics?
I didn't get a chance to talk to him. We got his autograph for that shirt we're giving away.
That guy turned into Superman.
Yeah.
I was just very impressive. So what you were teasing something earlier that you saw some. Was it Summer League? You said you when we were talking about cards, physical cards.
Seeing cards at Summer League?
No, you were teasing some innovation, or I can't remember.
Oh, I was talking about Austin Kent when we saw him at the Brotherhood Deli. inside of Thomas and Mack Center in Summer League, the Top Shot teamed up with the Players Association in the Brotherhood Deli.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool inside of there. They had like custom shirts, and then that's where they had these packs.
Nice.
Blurred out so you can't really see it, dang it. The special packs, they had the scratchers. But Austin Kent was telling us is like, hey, you don't know how much hard work it took to get that external shot of the arena with the beam in the De'Aaron Fox playoff moment.
Right.
And we're like, oh yeah, there hasn't been, like, thinking back, trying to think, there's never been an outside arena moment. He said, you know, usually we got to talk to the PA, we got to talk to the team, we got to talk to the players, we got to talk to this, that. But when you go outside the arena, now you got to talk to the city, you got to talk to the county, you got to talk to all these different, whoever is involved with showing that, because you might have signage, you might have whatever else showing the outside of that. You know, can you show things you would never think about? You know, it's like there's no way with how iconic the beam became that season that we weren't going to show that. So I hope that you like a little jab. It was like, I hope that you appreciate the amount of work that it takes.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you know, I said, yeah, more people need to know how much work it takes to get some of these, going back to what you talked about earlier, the angles and the footage and some of the things that it takes to get some of these moments, and why some moments we can't get because the PA or the player won't allow it because he got, you know, teabagged on a dunk or whatever, and he's embarrassed.
I wouldn't want to do. Yeah. You want people collecting that. Yeah, you know, there's no doubt it's the teams, they're working hard. I mean, they're the innovations and the changes are pretty amazing, a little astonishing when you think about where we were a year ago. And now we're sitting here chilling, talking about Summer League, talking about our favorite moments and all the great stuff going on. But before I let you guys go, I can't let you go without talking a little bit about your teams, how you feeling going into next season. Tork, start with you, man. What your Mavs got my boy Grant Williams, which is nice. So I'll be coming down to see some games. But how you feeling, man?
We needed a Grant Williams. We needed some interior help. We addressed that in the draft, I think. I like Omax from Marquette. Shout out my boy Shaka Smart. You know, it's the guy from Duke, him coming in. I mean, he was injured a lot at Duke. And I think he didn't really get his legs underneath him until later in the year, but he's another 5-star recruit out of high school, spent 1 year in college, and now he's ready to go. So I'm optimistic, man. I hope Kai holds up. I mean, like, I know everybody's got opinions about him. The guy's a baller, and I hope
he can ball. He can ball,
and I just hope that he can figure out how to coexist well with Luka, because it didn't seem to work quite so well last year.
Right.
But you know, I'm gonna root for him. I mean, he's on my squad, and the West is tough though, man. Like, it's
sure.
Are we gonna be better than Sacramento? I hope so. I don't see it right now, but you know, it's a long season, but we're a few years out from competing for a championship. But I really hope, my personal opinion, and I hope this doesn't come true, there are going to be a lot of Mavs fans mad at me. I don't think Luka sticks around with the Mavs. I think he ends up going somewhere else.
Alpha.
I don't know, man. It's just something about it. So I hope that Mark Cuban decides to take advantage of him while he's there, put a team around him that can win, because last year that wasn't it. That was just overpaying Tim Hardaway times like 3. And so hopefully they get back on the right track. But
how many more years is Luka locked down there?
It's a good question. That's I think at least 2-3 more years, and then that's it. But maybe not even that long. I don't know. He just doesn't strike me as – seems like he wants to end up in L.A. or something.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm not basing that off of anything other than my own
gut. Yep. Trust your gut, bro. Trust your gut. Chewie, what about you, man? I tell you, I felt like the Kings Warriors series was the most exciting in this last year's playoffs. As far as, I mean, it was just unbelievable, the intensity of that. That's got to feel, even though you didn't get the win, you got to feel good about your team and maybe what's coming up next year, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. You know, I'm a beaten down Kings fan from, you know, so many years of,
Yeah.
you know, anything that they do past my expectation is a win for me. But yeah, like Tork said, the West is so tough. The Mavs were in it or better than the Kings until the last 15 games or something last year, and then they just went downhill.
They seem to want to tank for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't get it. But
I don't
anyway.
know what happened. And you know, the Kings and Mavs had a back-to-back. We won one, lost one. It's the Kings didn't make any big splash moves, which for the culture of the locker room I think was good. They made moves for their offense, but didn't really make moves for the defense though. You know, they, like I said before, they signed Sasha. They signed Nerlens Noel, get some center backup. Re-signed Alex Lynn, but whatever. Nothing big. Like they re-signed their same guys. They're going to run it back. But other teams are going to be healthy that weren't healthy to begin with. You know, Warriors last year weren't healthy to start throughout the year. You know, then you look at the Suns team and what the Suns went through all year last year. So I don't know that the Kings can end up third again. I'm just hoping that they end up top 6. You know,
I hope you run into Alex Lynn after that comment. Oh, we got Alex Lynn, whatever. I hope you meet him now. Like it, and I hope he's the nicest guy in the world to you.
I met him. I met him when we had our bowling thing. I got the bowling club here. We had when we bowled with the Kings. I met him, and he's tall. He's nice.
Good dude.
He's a good guy, and he balled out in the playoffs. He was good, but like we needed another backup because if Sabonis gets hurt, Alex Lane gets in foul trouble early, then you're forced to play small ball center with Trey Lyles.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, man, being in the playoffs last year, I got to go to game 1. That place was so loud, my ears are still ringing, and you know, being captain for the Kings, sending people to those games, some of which was their first game ever.
Wow.
To go to a playoff game. So that's a close set to be going to the game. The close second to sending somebody to their first game being a playoff game. And seeing the world, at least within the Top Shot streets, Kings getting respect of like, hey, look at these fans are for real.
Yeah.
You know, and then looking at in the finals when you have Heat fans that are leaving the stands, or you have Celtics fans that are leaving the stands, and it's like that would not happen in Golden 1. We're there till the end.
Love that.
You know, whether we're losing or not.
And cowbells, man.
Yeah, and not non-biased fans saying that kind of stuff about Kings fans. So that felt good, you know.
Well, listen, that's us as Top Shot fans, right? We're here, man. We're here for the duration.
Yeah.
Come what may.
Yeah. I got a question for Treat. We need to hear about your prognostication for the Celtics. How do you feel about Marcus Smart leaving? Grant, I know we had Grant Williams. I'm not trying to make a sore subject, but
you know,
Porzingis.
It's interesting you say that.
Get that twang in there, Porzingis.
You know, we're spoiled. I would have liked to have run it back. I liked our team. I was obviously disappointed and felt like we didn't show up against the Heat. Kind of did what a lot of people did in this playoffs, took them for granted, thought, they knocked out the Bucks. And so I think mentally it was like, okay, this is an easy road to the finals. But this is the NBA. I don't care if they're undrafted or not. They can ball. just some of the mental lapses I felt like. But I would have liked to have run it back with that squad. I liked that squad a lot. And, two of my favorites, Marcus and Grant, go. Obviously, I'm still going to root for them, but, who knows? Maybe it's brilliant. Maybe it's a great move that we look back on and go, man, that addition, Porzingis, created this new big three that gives us another championship. That'd be great, but I'm not going to lie and say I wanted that. I wanted the group that we had last year and the year before to get one. That group, you just kind of bond with them, right? You feel like you just kind of begin to really enjoy them as a team and their personalities, and so it's just a whole new team that hadn't happened in a while for us.
I think you especially get attached to guys like Grant and Marcus Smart, but I'm curious, did it at least take the sting out of it a little bit that Marcus Smart ended up with the Grizzlies?
Oh yeah. I'm fired up, and I'm going to work hard to see both those guys live this year. Maybe when the Grizz come to Memphis. I mean, the Grizz go to Dallas. I'll get down there with you and
PNC meetup.
The Dallas boys have a meetup. Maybe fly Chewie in.
Does Marcus Smart change his hair blue?
He does. It will happen.
Yeah, it's
going to happen. And look, that's a whole other conversation about how his impact there in Memphis, because I really think that Memphis squad has a high upside. The ceiling's the roof, as Michael Jordan would say, if those guys can get it together. But you know how it is, guys. You go into an NBA season and it's not going to be what you expected, right? It just never is what you think going in.
Hope springs eternal.
It really does. And enjoyed it. And enjoyed you guys. Thank you for jumping in with us. Y'all come back, hang out again sometime. Who knows? I don't know when Three Ball and Brett are going to kick me off of the pod. Maybe they'll add you guys. I have to create my own splinter group in FUD for
FUD.
But it really is fun. Here's the thing. Let me close this. It's one of the things probably I love the most about this. I haven't met you guys in person, but you really are friends, and I'm really grateful to have you in my life. You definitely have made my life more enjoyable, both of you, and you mean a lot to me. So thanks for being part of this, and I'm happy to be on this ride with you young men.
Yeah, I appreciate the young comment.
Yeah, thanks.
You are.
Feelings mutual though, for sure. I love you guys, and yeah, man. I probably would have quit Top Shot already if it wouldn't have been for the community, to be honest. So just is what it is. But that's what keeps me around. So love you guys.
Love you, man. Yeah. You guys keep doing your thing, because it is much appreciated. Trust me, much appreciated. And Top Shot fam, we'll be back. I don't know when. Whenever Three Ball gets off vacation and tells me what to do, we'll be back. Peace.